Okay, how are we going, folks? It's Paul Harrison here, and hopefully you can hear this all fine and dandy. This is a recording that you are going to be getting if you've submitted stocks for the reviews. Obviously, I'm trying to encourage people to send more stocks through. There's been some huge numbers of stocks come through today, which is brilliant. So hopefully this is working. But what I'm going to say as well is, please, everybody who's submitting stocks, please ensure that the stocks are ready to go. They match the rules. They're not mid channel or anything like that. Because I mean, today I went through probably about 40 stocks, and it does take time to write them up and everything like that. So this information I'm providing is just for you. I don't want this being forwarded out to anybody else or anything like this. It's not recommendations or anything like that, but it is what you're getting because you did submit the stocks. Okay, so what I'm going to do basically on here is I'm going to go through the finer points of these particular trades and give you a little bit more than just the commentary on them. Well done for contributing there. Okay, so the first one we got up is Apple. Obviously, we've got an upward trending support line here. I'm going to move very quickly here, folks. Upward trending support line. It has turned. I put in a doji. When did we discuss this? We discussed this on Monday. So yeah, there would have had to be a stop loss in here. Again, a stop loss below here. It put in a doji and it sold off a little bit again yesterday. Again, this thing with Apple, I mean, obviously Apple is popular. People like it. It's a well-known stock, but I'm not head over heels about people trading it, particularly if you're trading a portfolio of less than 10 grand and you don't consider yourself at least intermediate with this trading, because the stock can move. It can move very quickly, and if it moves the right way, that's great. If it moves the wrong way, it can hurt you pretty bad as well. The next one we got is Alpha Alpha Whiskey, upward trending support line, nice bounces, yada yada yada. My only concern here is we've had a gap. It's dropped down significantly after the gap, and it's put in a few consolidation patterns. What we have seen before is it hit a support line, normally a horizontal trending support line, in all honesty. But this is slightly upward trending. I wouldn't be surprised to see this patch around here for a little bit and then actually sell off and break through that support line. So if you're looking at this, my concern here is just the gap, and there may be some consolidation here before it sells off again. Then we've got Charlie Bravo Tango, downward trading resistance line. No major issues here. Obviously your entry point's you're looking forward. You can see how this is what I talk about as far as the stock going up, and then it's coming up to the resistance and the actual day is getting shorter. It's putting some dojis there. So make sure you review your risk reward ratios, because that's going to be important for you as well there if you're looking to trade that. Then we have Charlie Alpha Tango. Again, we've got this upward trending, shorter term upward trending support line. We've got a longer term downward trending resistance line. This is mid chart pattern. The thing I would be concerned about here is the longer term trend. I'm expecting to be the stronger trend, obviously, as normal, but I am expecting it should have turned here at the resistance line. I'm expecting this upward trending support line to come in and play some kind of equation as well. So that is going to affect where you're going to look to take your profits. In saying that, it's a pretty big stock, so there's some reasonable margin in there if you get the entry point right. Okay. Then we have NVDA, who I don't know who submitted this one. There's a downward trending resistance line here, I guess, but for me that is too short term to trade. This is mid channel. Therefore, I wouldn't expect to be receiving stocks like this on an express review. Okay, so if it's you're not going to trade this in the short term, in the next day or two, unless you're trading this downward trending resistance line here, but that for me is too short term. So if you're seeing stocks like this in the mid channel, please don't submit them, because it does take me time to go through them. Then we have NIHD, downward trending resistance line. Quite a nice sort of passive stock. It does gap a little bit off the resistance line, but again, a stock that's moved already. So this stock is already gone. Again, I'm not overly keen on seeing these kind of stocks on these express reviews, because the stock is already gone. It went effectively on what that would be on Friday. It would probably trigger it actually on Monday, but it's putting another big day down there. So it's not one for these stock reviews. Then we have NBR. November Bravo Romeo. Again, we have the short-term upward trending support line, longer-term downward trending resistance line. If you're taking a trade off there, I would expect that resistance line to come into play. If you're going to take a short position off there, again, I would expect there to be some interaction again on the support line. Again, the stock looks like it may have moved. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have hit your 1% there, but again, something I probably wouldn't want to be seeing too much of if the stock is already gone. SPLS is the next one we got. Nice downward trending resistance line. Again, notice it's gapped here off the resistance line. Ooh, what happened there? Oh, we're back. Okay. Something else to be aware of. We've got an upward trending support, a very short upward trending support line here in the short term. But entry point is going to be important there as well. Okay. So just that to be aware of. SPLS. Then we have Charlie Oscar Hotel. It's again a downward trending resistance line. Shorter term, you see how the lows are getting slightly higher here as well. Entry point is going to be absolutely key with this. And again, it's a pretty big stock. You're looking at about 58 is currently trading at. It's got some support around about 50, so it's a pretty decent margin. Okay, but again, it's so important to get your entry points right here. You may even want to see what happens today on the open of that. Then we have M. Okay, again, some reasonable decent resistance just above 41. Bounce. This resistance is not too scary, but again, depending on your entry point, but it might, this stop loss here, your stop loss is going to have to be involved with this one here because that's the high of the range. That might just be a little bit rich. You might not be able to get the ratios on there. That's to be aware of on there. Then we have FDX, downward trending resistance line. Again, nothing overly concerning. A little bit of a gap here. I do like that it's been as low as 84 recently. So it has the potential, obviously, to be able to do that kind of margin as well. Again, entry. Maybe I should do a video just on entries, FDX, because entries can be, that can really make or break the situation there. CSX. CSX, not ready to trade. Again, I don't know why this has come into the setup here. I see a support line here. I don't see any other reason to take this trade. Again, one that I don't want to be seeing in the express reviews. Please only note things that are going to be ready to trade in the next day or two. Okay, that's why we do it on a Wednesday. I set this up on a Monday night after the stock reviews we have, and then again on the Wednesday and then the Friday. So something like this I don't want to see. There's no ways it's going to be tradable in the next day or two. LLTC, let me pick up the speed here a little bit. Resistance at circa 34. Something to be aware of. Look how quickly this particular bar has been coming up. I mean, it opened up and then sold off. Slowly rolls up there as well. So yeah, just be aware of those big moves as it comes up to the resistance line. GM, downward trending resistance line. Boom. Again, it put in a pretty big day by the looks of things yesterday. I wanted to settle a little bit more before I get the entry point right there. Okay. Yeah, pretty decent range though. Should it break this particular kind of area here around about the 24, then there's a pretty decent downside there as well. So something else to be aware of. NLY, downward trending support line. Not overly excited because of this. Again, yesterday it put in a huge down day. That's a very big down day. I wouldn't be surprised to see this actually break that support line, that downward trending support line. People probably be saying, but you don't take a long off a downward trending support line. You're right, but potentially it's not downward trending enough to get me upset about it, overly upset about it, to take that trade. But I don't like that entry point because it's been such a big day. It's a pretty wild stock as well. It does move very aggressively there. BSX. Okay, again, mid-range. No reason why this is in here. No idea. Please review these stocks before you put them in. MCD. Again, the stock, there was some support around about 86, 87, but again, it's rallied already. It's gone. It shouldn't have been submitted unless it was submitted a couple of days ago. Again, a little bit of a gap here, and it's put in some consolidation, but it looks like it's broken back up to the upside now. We've got APD. Again, the stock's already gone. Not interested in looking at now. Here we have a downward trending resistance line. Looks like it's sitting up on that that resistance line right now, the downward trending resistance line. Again, your entry point is going to be important. I'd want to see exactly what's going on there at the moment, because it put in a reasonably big day here, very big day here, a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a reasonable day here, and I'd expect to see that maybe put in like a slightly downward doji, which then I may be interested in. Then we have EMR. Again, resistance line, horizontal resistance line. I don't like the way it's gapped here. It's gone up and it's come back down. I don't like big movements around that resistance line, particularly after a gap. Okay, and again, a stock that can move quite considerably, quite aggressively in any one day. Then we have Shoe, Steve Madden. Again, the stock is on the resistance line. It's had some very big, strange moves recently as well. I know a fair few of you were trading the stock. But yeah, again, this is mid-range. So, you know, potentially there is an opportunity for a long position here off this shorter-term support line. But really, we've only got support over September, October, and November. That's too shorter-term frame for me really to be excited about. FRX. Upward trending support line, bing, bing, bing. No huge issues there. IBM. Again, it's already gone. I don't know why that's come up again in the actual trades there. TXT. Upward trending support line, maybe not quite on there, so potentially you could set an alert. It's almost on that support line. One to have a potential look at as well. TXT, AIG. Nice linear upward trending support line. This is textbook. I mean, you've got a down day, it's put in a doji, and then it's put a slightly up day there as well. You should have a reasonable, decent range there. 34 to 36, not quite 10%, but again, depending on where your risk reward ratio is, that may be of interest to you. Triple M. Again, one that's already gone. ISV. Again, we've got these upward trending support line. I'd rather see bigger moves off these support lines than the shorter ones, because you do have a pretty tight channel there, but I do like to see more of a move, you know. It's possibly not quite where we'd want it to be at the moment, but it should be there in the next day or two. If you can get a bigger range on there, then potentially you're going to make more money. COV. Again, upward trending support line. You see, this is what I like, folks. I like seeing a good few months between bounces, because that means that obviously that support line is remembered. Again, the stock possibly has gone already, but it's still very, very close to that support line. And you've got a decent high up here. It wasn't that long ago since I put the high in there. So yeah, you wouldn't want to get in where you are at the moment, but potentially if it was to sell off shortly in the next day or two, then potentially you could be looking for a long trade on that one as well. We have USB. Again, nice. I really do like this longer term gentle bounces. Bang, bang, bang. Again, is it ready to trade right now? Well, you'd have to have a look at that. US Bank Corp. It's funny, you keep seeing the same names coming up time and time again. That's because the personalities of the stocks are very similar. Okay, again, unless you're trying to tell me that is no. You know, I don't know why this one was brought up. No reason to trade it. I've got down here. No reason to trade right now. Maybe at a later time, but not right now. APLX, sorry, that's APXL. Sorry, India Papa X-Ray Lima. Boing, boing, boing. Lovely jubbly. Put in some. You see how it gapped here a little bit. Again, my only concern about the stock is it has gapped. It's sold off again. There's a lot of movement. It's put in possibly some consolidation. If this stock hadn't have gapped, hey man, come on. No. Clear zoom. If this stock hadn't gapped like it had there, then I would like, if it had put in like little moves down here and then it come down here, that would be absolutely textbook. But because of the gap, a lot of the time you do find further momentum after the consolidation. There can be a sell off there as well. IPXL KO. Again, upward trending support lines. These stocks as well, you can stay in for a while. We got the bounce there, a bounce here, a bounce here. I would rather have another bounce mid-range here. These two are put in very, very close. Also, there's slightly downward trending resistance line just to be aware of there as well, in the shorter term, admittedly. Coca-Cola, LNT. Upward trending support line, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. Look for a good entry point. It has had two reasonably big days, but it's put in a little bit of an up day yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what happens today. The market happens a little while from now, but two big days there, big down days, and you'd want to look at what your ratios are there as well. Clear zoom. Again, the highs were here. There's been some previous highs here. Always look at those recent highs because they should have some kind of impact somewhere along the line there. 46, 44, yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so that's LNT. Then we have TRI. We got maybe a bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. Personally, I don't like the situation with having these big moves. Big moves like this in stocks make me kind of scared, particularly when they're around about the support line. If they're mid-range, that's fine because we're in the position. But something like this, I just don't like the look of. This kind of Thomson Reuters Corporation, you're going to have to trade this with a little bit more leverage, a little bit more. What's the word? Being a little bit more liberal with it, because obviously the stock moves quite significantly, and this would obviously, your stop loss would have to be below there as well. Try OGXI. Support line around about the 1220 mark. A couple of days big sell-off, so a little bit of consolidation. So look for your entry point right there. But we've got one bounce there, maybe one bounce there. I would have preferred it to come down a little bit lower here, but maybe I'm just being pedantic. Yeah, okay. Then we have panel. Upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. No major issues there. Good ratio. Again, entry point is important. Then we have PFE. Upward trending support line. Maybe needs to come off a little bit more down to that support line to get your position in there. But again, longer term, this is coming down for a potential fourth bounce. No problems with that. We've got a downward trending resistance line here. No major issues. Nothing unforeseen there. BAC. Again, I would rather have more. I'd rather have had this bounce come up to the resistance line, but it didn't. It's currently sitting on the resistance line at around about 994. You do have an upward trending support line as well to be aware of on that. Bank of America. Then we have PX. Short-term resistance at 110. Longer-term upward trending support line about 105. I would be tempted to probably trade the stock on a. Obviously, you're going to have to trade on a stop order now because you're going to want to change that confirmation to change of direction. Whether you would still get that resistance, the ratios is unclear. I'm not 100% sure about that. PX. Support at 57, just above 57, a little bit dirty though. It's a little bit all over the place. NSPH. Upward trending support line. Bounce mid-March. Bounce there. A couple of bounces here. No big issues there. Very small stock though. Yeah. NSP. THG. Okay, we've got a slight upward trending support line, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. It's a bit of a freaky stock, this. It does move quite strangely. Put in some big moves here, and possibly the stock has already gone by a day or two. THG, AGYS. Freaky, again, no idea why this stock has come up here. If somebody's thinking that is going to be a reason to get into the trade, I'm not so sure. There certainly is some support at 7, and should it actually put some reasonable bars in down to 7, I'd be interested. But, well, I may be interested depending on what was going on. But again, this is mid-channel. Don't want to know right now. AXP. We got some kind of upward trending support line here. Again, mid-channel. Nothing else I can really see on that. That's going to get me excited. Resistance at 57 mark, 58 mark. Some upward trending support line on that support line there. Recent highs, pretty small stock though. Upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. Nothing you haven't seen before. It's put in a reasonable entry point there as well. So it's had a big day. Then some buying activity looked like it came in and again there as well. Remember ratios on there, folks. Ratios. SNI. TCO. TCO, upward trending support line, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. The highs are kind of coming down a little bit, so just to be aware of that. But again, nothing you haven't seen before. TOL. Upward trending support, bounce, bounce, bounce. Come up there, maybe just missed it. Again, there's a little bit of a ratty stock, this one. It can move quite significantly. Maybe we've missed it by a day or two. TRC. Resistance line around about the $31 mark. Yep, the stock can move significantly as well. You're going to have to get your entry point right. Your stop loss have to be around about that area, potentially in the next day or two. ATMI. Some downward trending resistance here. Bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. Reasonable ratio on that. It has gapped up. Potentially it could continue up in that direction as well because of that gap up. Again, a downward trending resistance line. It looks like it put in a pretty big down that went up, and then I don't know if that is a technical failure or whether they're going to open up today. But again, with these kind of stocks, you're looking for that entry point to be nice, and that certainly isn't an entry point for a downward trending resistance line. It's too big. It's a too big a day, that one. UNT. Again, we've got this downward trending resistance line. Is it ready to go now? Certainly not. Next day or two, possibly. Should it rally up over the next day or two? Then we got an upward trending resistance line here on WAB, Whiskey Alpha Bravo. Upward trending support line. Bang, 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 bang. The highs are getting reasonably higher. Last month has been slightly down, but maybe that's just the way it's going to go there. Yep, nothing over crazy there. Then we have Whiskey X-Ray. Resistance line around about $14. You're going to have to use this as your stop loss though, because that's also on that support line. XL. XL, no reason to trade. Again, this kind of stock I don't need to see at this time, unless you're talking about that as being a support line. I just don't see that being. It hasn't come down enough in order to put one there. And if you're just looking at these few here, that's just a month and a half is just not long enough. WEC. Upward trending support line. Again, these kind of stocks, look for the entry point. You've got some degree of resistance around about this area here, around about the 38. So do expect that to be some kind of interaction there as well when it comes to your profit taking. TRW. Slightly upward trending resistance line at the $49 mark. Again, it's put in a up days all the way here. They have got slightly smaller, but you're going to want to get your entry point right there. This is what I'd be looking for. If we saw that in the next day or two, then that's quite a nice little indicator without it actually breaking that resistance line. TRWSO. Support line at 44, circa 44. I don't like this though as far as the entry point goes. Look how it's sold off very, very aggressively. Should have put in a doji today or tomorrow, or a slightly upward day. That's going to give me a lot more confidence. It hasn't gapped ridiculously per se, but there it still is a lot of momentum behind this downward side here. So be aware of that with your entry point. So PBI. Support around about 1275. Again, another stock has put in a heavy down day here. It's put in basically like a doji here, but this stock has still got, it's battling with the understanding of itself. It's got some sort of crazy emotions going on there right now. Pitney Bowes. Okay, MCBC. Nope, nowhere near ready to trade. Not anything I could see or anything that really got me excited either. SRCL. Some degree of resistance around about the $95 mark. Still relatively short term. ABT. Alpha Bravo Tango. We've got an upward trending support line here. A little bit of a gap. It's consolidated a little bit, moved up and in, but potentially putting in some reasonable support and buying action coming in there as well. I mean, we're talking about a month's worth of consolidation here, so more than a month and a half effectively, maybe almost 2 months. It's just been bobbling around. Is that enough time to get all it out of its system? Sorry, what am I talking about? It's not a month, it's a week, week and a half possibly. I'd still prefer that gap not to be there though. ABT. And finally Yum. And Yum, we had some resistance just above 73. Bounces there, bounce there. I would I'd way rather have another bounce here or another bounce here to give me some reasonable distance around about those areas. Okay, so there we go, folks. That is 12 minutes. I hope that helps you and adds some further value. Again, it's all about the insight on these trades. For stocks moving forward, I'm looking to do this every Wednesday and every Friday. It is going to take me a lot of time to do this. This is my own time I'm putting into this as well. So please just keep the stocks ready to go. And you know, if they come up with the alerts and you really actually considering taking them in as a trade, then submit them. Don't just submit them for the hell of it, because it does mean I've got to go through them and start analyzing them. So hope you have a great day's trading, great week's trading. There's some great stocks out there. So best of luck. Speak to you soon. All the best. Cheers, folks. Bye bye.